We continue now at the top of Daf Kuftes Zayin Amid Aleph and Meseches Bava Basra. This is Bava Basra Daf 116a. This Daf is sponsored by Alexander Rosenfeld. Thank you for your sponsorship. If you would like to sponsor an Amid or a Daf, see the description box below, and see the description box below to see how you can support this channel. On the previous Amid, there was a machlokus between the Chachamim and the Tzadukim. Let's say you have a Bas Haben and you have a Bas. Is the Bas able to inherit together with the Bas Haben? In other words, you have a situation where a person dies, and the person had a son and a daughter. The son has already died, but the son had a daughter, so now this is a granddaughter who is the daughter of his son, and also this person had a daughter. So the question is, does the daughter inherit anything at all, or do we say no, since the granddaughter is the daughter of his son, and in general the son takes precedence over the daughter. When there is a son, the daughter doesn't inherit at all. So in this case as well, the daughter of the son, this granddaughter, will inherit everything, and the daughter will not inherit anything. And that was the position of the Chachamim, and that's the position of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, that only the granddaughter inherits and not the daughter. But the Tzidukim said that the daughter will be able to inherit as well in this case. And on the previous summon, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai brought a proof, and the proof he was bringing was from the Psukim with Tzivon and Anah, and over there we were talking about a grandson, we were not talking about a granddaughter, and that's why the Rashbam says, the Tziduki says, how could you prove against what I am saying? And now Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai responds, Velote Torah Shlema Shalanu, our perfect Torah, is nothing Kesicha B'Teila Shalachem, is nothing like the nonsense that you are saying, because there is going to be a proof that the daughter of the son, this granddaughter, is the only one that will inherit, because Malibas Beno, because what do we find by the daughter of his son, Shekain Yafa Kocha B'Makom Ha'achin, she has a strong position when it comes to the brothers, meaning let's say there were other brothers, let's say you had a situation where her father, this granddaughter's father, who is the son of the deceased, he died, but there were other brothers, she would be able to inherit along with them. Tomar Babito, whereas you're going to say by the daughter, that's not true. If there's a daughter and a bunch of brothers that she has, there's a bunch of sons of the deceased, Shahora Kocha b'makom achin, she has a weak position next to the brothers. Again, we say as long as there's a son, the daughters do not inherit. And the Gemara says, V'nitzcham, the Gemara says that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he was victorious with this argument. V'yoso hayom asahu yom tovin. So that day, they made that day Yom Tov, they made that day a day of celebration. And the Gemara continues the pasuk in Sefer Shoftim by the story of the Pilagish Begiva says, Vayomru, they said, Yerushas Pleita leBinyamin v'lo yimacha Shevet miYisrael. There was very few remaining from Shevet Binyamin at that time, and they didn't want that the Shevet of Binyamin would be wiped out from Klal Yisrael. And so the Gemara continues and explains, Amar Rabbi Yitzchak says, Devei Rabbi Ami from the Yeshiva of Rabbi Ami, Melamed, this teaches, Shehiznu al Shevet Binyamin, they made a stipulation by Shevet Binyamin, Shelo tirish Bas haben im ha'achin, that the daughter of the son should not inherit together with the brothers. The idea over here is that they wanted to minimize as much as possible the women from Shevet Binyamin inheriting property, because there were so few from Shevet Binyamin left. They were afraid that if women from Shevet Binyamin would inherit and they would marry someone from another tribe, a lot of property would then be given over to the other tribe. And so this was a takana they made specifically, even though it's not the standard halacha. Usually the Bas Haben is going to inherit together with the brothers, but in this particular situation they said that the Bas Haben should not inherit together with the brothers. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Rabbi Yochanan says in the name of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, Kol she'eno maniach ben liyarsho, anyone who doesn't leave over a son who is able to inherit him, HaKadosh Baruch Hu malei olav ever. It indicates that HaKadosh Baruch Hu must be filled with anger against this individual. And where do we see that? Because it's written, ksiv hach, it's written over here, when it talks about nachal, inheritance, v'havartem es nachal also, it uses the word v'havartem. Uksiv hasam, and it's written over there, this is a pasuk in Sefania, Yom Evra Hayom Ahu, it uses the word Evra, which means anger, and so therefore we see somebody who doesn't leave over this son who's going to be able to inherit him, it's V'havartem, it's a Yom Evra, that shows there's a certain amount of anger. And the Gemara continues, the pasuk in Tehillim says, Asher ein chalifos lamu, that there's no exchange, v'lo yaru elokim, and they didn't fear God. And the Gemara is now darshaning what it means there's no exchange. Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, it's a machlokus between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. Chad amar kol she'eno miniach ben, it means that somebody doesn't leave over a son, he's left over no chalifa, no exchange, so to speak, for himself. The Chad amar, and the other one says, what's the pasuk talking about? Kol she'eno miniach talmud, it means somebody who doesn't leave over a talmud. And the Gemara says, Testayim, let us conclude, Rabbi Yochanan Amar Talmud, that it's Rabbi Yochanan who says that it's negative for a person not to leave over the Talmud, and it would not be so negative if the person does not leave over a son. The Amar Rabbi Yochanan, because Rabbi Yochanan said about himself, Dein garme da asira bir, this is the bone of my 10th son. He was essentially publicly stating that he had no sons. All of his sons died during his lifetime. Now, he would not have stated that publicly if it meant that there was some kind of anger, if it meant something negative about him. And so therefore, it must be that he would say, the Pasuk in Tehillim is talking about somebody who doesn't leave over a Talmud, and not about somebody who does not leave over a son. And so the Gemara says, Tistayim de Rabbi Yochanan de Amar Talmud. Yes, you can conclude that it's Rabbi Yochanan who says that the pasuk is talking about someone who doesn't leave over a Talmud. Umid Rabbi Yochanan Amar Talmud. Now, if it's Rabbi Yochanan who says that the pasuk is referring to somebody who doesn't leave over a Talmud, so Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi Amar ben, it must be Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi who's the one that says the pasuk is speaking negatively about somebody who doesn't leave over a son. Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi lo azal levei tamya ela levei man deshachav v'lo bani. But Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, he would not visit a place of mourning only by a person. He would only visit those who died without leaving over any sons. Techsiv, as it's written in the pasuk, and this is a pasuk in Yirmiyahu, it says, Bechu b'cho laholech, weep for the one who goes away. V'yam Rav Yehuda Marav, and Rav Yehuda says that Rav says, laholech below ben zachar, it means somebody who dies and doesn't leave over a son. And so therefore you see that he would visit these individuals, he would comfort these mourners. It certainly does not seem to be something negative. So El Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi who damar Talmud. So then you're going to have to say that it's Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi who says that the pasuk in Tehillim is referring to somebody who doesn't leave over a student. Umid Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi who damar Talmud, and if Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi is the one who says the pasuk is referring to a student, Rabbi Yochanan Amar ben, so then it must be Rabbi Yochanan who says the pasuk is referring to somebody who does not leave over a son. But then again, we have this difficulty. Kasha Rabbi Yochanan ad Rabbi Yochanan. We have a contradiction, Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yochanan, because he held up the bone of his 10th son. And the Gemara answers to that, Lo Kasha, it's not difficult. Hadi day, Hadi Rabbi. One is what Rabbi Yochanan himself holds, and the other is from his Rebbe. And the Rashbam explains, Hadi day, Dein Garma, when he held up the bone of his child, that was his own opinion. The sphere like Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, he holds like Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, that Zeh Shelo Hiniach Talmud, the pasuk is referring to one who doesn't leave over a student. But Hadi Rabbi, Maida Amar Zeh Shelo Hiniach Ben, when he said the pasuk is referring to somebody who doesn't leave over a son, that was really the opinion of his Rebbe, Velo Svirle, and he doesn't hold like that himself. And it could be that the Gemara over here is referencing the fact that earlier we have Rabbi Yochanan again quoting Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and he's quoting Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai who says that if a person doesn't leave over a son who's going to inherit him, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Mole Olav Ever, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu is angry. And so again, that was in the name of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, but that was not Rabbi Yochanan's own opinion. And the Gemara continues at the two dots, Siman Hadad Ani V'Chacham, that's a mnemonic for the coming Gemaras. Dorish Rabbi Pinchas ben Chama, Rabbi Pinchas ben Chama darshan as follows. Ma'idachsiv, what does it mean when it's written in the pasuk of Hadad Shama v'Mitzrayim, that Hadad heard in Mitzrayim, Ki shachav David and Avosav, that David died, V'chimes Yoav Saratzav, and that Yoav the general, that he died. Mipnei ma b'David nemra bo shechiva, how come by David, when it talks about the fact that he died, it uses the word shechiva, Uvi-Yoav nemra bo misa, but by Yoav it uses the word misa. And the Gemara explains, David Sheiniach ben, David who left over a son, and Nemra bo shechiva, we use the word shechiva. Yoav Shaloiniach ben, but Yoav who did not leave over a son, Nemra bo misa, so we use the word misa. But the Gemara continues, V'Yoav lo hiniach ben, but is it really true that Yoav did not leave a son? V'aksiv, but it's written in the pasuk, Mibnei Yoav Ovadia ben Yechiel, it says from the sons of Yoav, from the descendants of Yoav, Ovadia ben Yechiel, that seems to indicate that he did have a son. Ela David, rather, what it means is, Ela David, rather, David Shehiniach ben Kamoso. David was different than Yoav in that David HaMelech had a son like him. So Namra bo shchiva, so therefore it says by him the word shchiva, but Yoav, but when it comes to Yoav, Shalo hiniach ben kamoso, he did not leave over a son like himself, so Namra bo misa, so there it uses the word misa. And the Gemara continues, Darash Rabbi Pinchas ben Chama, Rabbi Pinchas ben Chama darshans, Kasha aniyos, besoch beiso shaladam, poverty in the house of a person is even more difficult, Yoser mechamisha makos, it's more difficult than 50 makos. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, this is a pasuk in Eov, Chanuni, Chanuni, have pity on me, atem re'ai ki yad Eloah naga bi, have pity on me, my friends, because the hand of God, it has struck me. The idea over here is the hand is representative of 50 makos, because the 10 makos are with a finger, so the hand is going to be 5 times the amount, 5 fingers on the hand, that's 50 makos. V'kol amri lechavri, and then his friends responded to him, they responded to Yoav, he shamer al tefen alavin, be careful, don't turn towards iniquity, ki al zeh bacharta meoni, because this is, you have chosen better, it's better than poverty, and so therefore you see that anios, that poverty is more difficult than 50 makos. And the Gemara continues, Darash Rabbi Pinchas Bar Chama, Rabbi Pinchas Bar Chama Darshans, Kol sheyesh lo chola b'soch beis, so anyone who has a sick person in his house, Yelech eitzel chacham v'yavakish olav rachamim. He should go to a wise person, and this person will ask for mercy on his behalf. And the Gemara says, Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk in Mishlei, Chamas Melech Malachei Moves, the anger of the king is like the Malachei Moves, v'ish chacham yechaprena, but the wise person is able to pacify that wrath. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. The Mishnah said, Zahaklal, this is the rule, Kol hakodem benachala, anyone who's first when it comes to inheritance, Yotze Yerecho Kodmin, so his descendants are first, they have precedence. V'ha'av, and a father, Kodem l'chol Yotze Yerecho, he's going to have precedence over all of his own descendants. And the Gemara says, Boy Rami Bar Chama asks the following question, Avi ha'av v'achei ha'av, let's say you have the father of the father and the brothers of the father, who takes precedence, Kagon Avram avi Yishmael b'nichsei Esav. For example, let's say Esav dies, and the question is, who's supposed to inherit his property? Is Avraham his grandfather? That's the father of his father. Is he supposed to inherit the property? Or Yishmael, which would be the brothers of his father, Yishmael being the brother of Yitzchak, Eza mehen kodem, which one takes precedence? Amar Rava says, Tashma, come and hear a proof. The Mishnah says, Ha'av kodem l'chol yotze yerecho, the father takes precedence over all of his descendants. And so therefore, if it's a question of who takes precedence, Avraham or Yishmael, surely Avraham takes precedence because Yishmael comes from Avraham. And the Gemara says that obviously is the answer. So therefore, for Rami Bar Chama, why was he even asking this question? And we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Kuf Tes Zayin Amud Beis.